Awesome. I see we have a couple of people joining. Hello. Just going to give it a minute or two just to let people continue to join the webinar. Mhm. Justin, how do you feel about getting started and kind of letting people join as we kind of go through the presentation?
Yeah, water's great. Jump in when you're ready.
Okay, well, hello and good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay and see my screen. So super excited to have our first webinar of the year, empowering higher education institutions with innovative solutions to enhance your administration and engagement. For a quick introduction, my name is Aaliyah Walker. I'm the lead generation and communication specialist at Apsona. So you'll see my face a lot as we start to roll our webinars on a monthly basis. And I have with me Justin Bars, who's the president. So let's dive just a little deeper into who we are. So Apsona is a Salesforce native solution designed to help organizations overcome their complex data management challenges. We offer tools that enhance your Salesforce functionality, making things like creating reports, document generation, data operations easier and more effective. So with that being said, Justin, are you ready to kind of jump in and start your showcase?
Yeah, let's do it. So this is where we find consistently the highest value for higher eds across the space. Today is a busy day for us. I don't know about you guys on a Thursday, midway through January, but we've had customers asking, customers requesting, partner enablement calls, and these sort of five, I call them solution areas, are where we see consistently higher eds, advancement offices mostly, and some other scenarios are just applying Apsona components, Apsona licenses, and Apsona products to fit these needs. The three that we're going to focus on today are the three in the middle. We're going to showcase how to take what we know is a consistent need where people need to get data into Salesforce quickly, easily, regardless of your data model, whether you're on AffiniQuest, Ascend, Kindsight, Education Cloud, Nonprofit Cloud. We're sort of focused on the higher ed space here for today's call, but we know that essentially people want to get their data in, but they've got a busy IT team, a busy reporting team, and sort of even leaving Salesforce to go to a third-party tool sometimes just takes too long. And the need to sort of handle end users or folks on the space that can sort of deliver, can get data into Salesforce, clean it, and make sure that their data is clean and ready is an essential need. The second solution we're going to talk about is campaign reporting. Campaigns are this incredible object in Salesforce where you can add people, accounts, or leads to it. You can compare them, contrast them to others. You can include it with cross-examination of donors and donation history or giving reporting. How to sort of make the most of reporting is a need that we consistently see across all users. So our driver is to say, hey, if you know that the 200 users in your Salesforce instance all need better reporting, and there's some endpoints to how well Lightning reporting fits their needs, Apsona can deliver reporting, service your end users, and give them the power to make decisions on their data and their business workflow on a day-to-day basis. And then the last one is where we're known in the space. We're a consistent and trusted partner in the gift receiving and gift processing space. This shows up oftentimes with really complex reporting receiving templates where maybe you've got lots of scenarios where you need to include demo data and or demographic data and volunteer data and receiving data and gift designation data. All of those pieces of information can be combined into receipt templates that fit needs for you and your team. We're going to show you how the template we're going to give you today, you'll actually receive this at the end of today's call, is going to help you create the same solution in your own instance. The benefit for us is we actually want to show you how to, if you guys remember the old commercials, the infomercials from the 90s, how to set it and forget it. We're going to show you how to automate a solution today using the solutions built from Apsona. So yeah, so 3 solution templates. We're about 4 minutes into the call. Our goal is to showcase how this works. And then at the end of today's call, you'll receive an email follow-up from Aaliyah and our team. And I'll do a brief sort of highlight of like how to actually get this solution template and include it in your instance. Leah is thankfully hosting the chat in the sidebar. So as questions come up, guys, don't hold back. We will entertain the questions as you write them in, but please keep them going on. We've got about 10 minutes set aside throughout the call to answer questions. And our driver is your efficiency. We essentially know that Apsona makes customers and higher ed teams more effective with their data, reporting, and DocGen. And these are 3 solution templates we thought would help you do that today. So the first scenario is sort of contact donor constituent information. This also applies if you're in a gift mode, right? Maybe you need to import gifts on a regular basis, but we just know a lot of times people just need their donor data in there. Maybe it's wealth screening related information, other information related to people they need to add to Salesforce quickly and easily, but they don't want to wait for their IT team to do it because they're backlogged. It's going to take them 3 or 4 weeks. So Apsona has an import staging tool. It's available. It can be available on the detailed record page in Salesforce. Can be available on any page you want to sort of create it in Salesforce, and it allows you to get data into Salesforce quickly, easily, and correcting the errors as you go without forcing you to log into a different system and bother your IT team. This is a solution that can be configured by your team, and our goal is to show you how to implement it today. And Aaliyah, I will take over share at this point, and we will go straight to my screen. And you guys tell me if you can see my campaign screen. Okay.
Loading. Okay, yeah.
Great. So campaigns are just a consistent space where we people segment and group people, gifts, donations, accounts, different scenarios. We're going to go to our 2024 campaign gala. This is just an easy example that we're going to use for today. But our goal is to say, essentially, when I'm in Salesforce or my managed package and I need to see all my campaign members, I get some functionality out of the box. But when I zoom down and sort of say, I know I've got more than 6 members here, your end users are looking at this campaign and saying, how do I find all my members? Where can I see them? How do I understand them? And at this point, we can see 50 plus, but then I have to scroll to the bottom of the page. I keep scrolling, and I get a little crazy at this point. I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I don't know when to stop. So the use case here is to highlight how do you give your users, your end users, a way to see their campaign members. Again, a child record against a parent record. Campaign members are essentially people that have been added to this campaign. How do you show it and give it to them in a way that maybe they need to add people to that campaign, remove people from that campaign, segment them as needed? We're going to go to the campaign detail record page. And our solution template today, we just call it an import staging solution. If I click on my tab here on the sidebar, we just simply call it campaign members review. Now at this point, it's sort of a little squished because it's on one single page view. It's on a 2/3 screen page layout. But we also know that you can embed this tab at the top of the screen here. You can hide it and show it and remove it as needed based on your Lightning components with Salesforce. So it's very easy for you to customize where and how you want to show this screen. For us today, I'm going to zoom out a tiny bit to sort of just show this campaign tabular view. I'll refresh the page to get my, my embedded view to show off. But essentially, instead of sort of seeing this in the Lightning list view or related list view here, I'm going to click on campaign members review and see it here. Now, right out of the box, I just want to point out, we can see all the first 200 records. If I want to shift that to a different set of records, I could do that here. But the goal is adjust the contacts that I see on screen. I can sort them by column header quickly and easily, sort of showcasing, givers of the highest level. And then I can also sort and adjust the information on screen as well. So if I want to just highlight maybe all the individuals that live in California, I can do a quick search on any individuals where California is included, search it, and then as an end user, I can sort of see all the campaign members, but not have to scroll and scroll and scroll, don't have to export to a different file, don't have to build a Salesforce report. I can get the information I want on this screen. Now I can update information here along the way as well. If this person's not a senior executive director, just executive, I can click save. I can save information, and as needed, if I need to, I can pop out the record and see this in the basic Lightning view as well. But what you came to today is to say, how do I get other data in? Because maybe I got a couple other third-party lists, maybe other people on my team are adding information, and I need to go and add some more people here. We're going to say, under Tools, there's an option for you to import additional information to this record. And these are campaign members that link to a contact record. You might be importing contacts directly into Salesforce. You might be importing GIFs, but the functionality is the same across the space. In our scenario here, I'm going to click on the import tool. And I'm going to go through a series of steps to say, I want to both import new records, but also update any information that's already in Salesforce, right? If the record that I have is more up to date, I might want to update that information and make sure that that campaign member is correct. Essentially, I'm doing a list management, making sure that this 2024 Gala campaign is up to date. Now I can do a copy paste file, but I'm going to essentially choose a file from my existing data set. Here is my third-party list. For today's example, I have about 200 records here that I'm going to want to add and sort of update to this campaign. And I'm going to want to match these on two specific scenarios. I want to know that the campaign name is the same as this campaign, right? So I'm adding new records or updating records to this campaign name. And I'm going to match the contact on email address. That's a pretty consistent field I want to use. If the email address is the same, I want to consider it the same and add it to the system. I'm going to click OK. And then on my next step here, I'm going to get to the field mappings. Now, again, forgive me for this, for the squishing, but essentially all of these screens can be sort of adjusted and adapted. You can do field, you can expand the screen to a higher view. And I'm just going to reference that the two fields that I need to map are campaign name and email, which is already auto-mapped. So there's a couple functions here where if I see information here that's not correct, I can spot update it and correct it along the way. There's other fields here that if this was a full contact import, I might want to add the contacts to the system first. I could do that in an initial step first. But in this screen here, I just want to click on Next and say, for those 200 records, it looks through it and tells me, are there any errors with my data, right? Did somebody miskey in information? And do I want to catch that before I get a reject file? Apsona finds this one record here. I'm going to close the error file. I'm going to correct this email address here that has 2 ampersands. And now I've corrected my data in a step while I'm importing the data, not having to wait for a reject file. I now have a results section of what I'm expecting to happen. I think 2 new records could be created, 198 updates, no duplicates, no rejects. But essentially all I'm doing is taking contacts that exist on my instance and adding them to this campaign based on email match. I can save this mapping. If this is a consistent tool that I use over and over again, I can use this over and over again myself, not having to replicate the wheel. At this point, we're going to click on Import. And in a few steps, I have imported data from within Salesforce. It's expected that I might get some error files along the way, so I can always download those error files. These 2 records, I think, may just not exist as contacts. We need some adjustment there, but the successful records can also be updated. And in some of our functionality with Apsona, I can also just jump directly to this list and do further segmentation. In those kinds of scenarios, we might reference, you might want to go to the Apsona tab to do more dedicated data analysis. But for today, we want to just say, these are the steps that you would follow to provide an import solution to any member of your team. Aaliyah, any questions so far on the presentation today?
I'm not seeing any.
Okay. Guys, feel free to just chime in on the chat. We will answer them along the way and keep it moving. So again, the driver here was the ability to import data seamlessly, doing it and correcting it along the way, making sure that your data is correct as it's in Salesforce, and simplifying that import process. We don't want you to have to go to data loader or a third-party tool. We want to say to the point that it fits with your scenario, you might want to hand this tool and this feature set over to your end users or power users. Apsona makes it easy to do so. Next up, campaign segmentation. Put a 2 in the chat for those of you guys watching. If you guys use campaigns on a regular basis to segment and separate groups of constituents to either appeal to for volunteering, for donor, for giving, for other options. Put a 2 in the chat if you use campaigns on a daily basis, like us on our team. Your task is to make sure that you can create reports and then use a report, but not have to sort of force your user to sort of go into a dedicated reporting module and like build and build and build reports. Not have to force them to go to Excel and do adjustments, and then push that data back into Salesforce to finish it. We realize that's a time expensive, Excel expensive, and sort of just noisy and thorny situation. Can we get reporting that a customer needs or an end user needs and put that at their fingertips on the campaign record? On screen, I'm going to flip back over to Apsona. Now, again, for ease of purposes today, we use the same campaign. It just makes sense and it's easier to reference the need. But as I'm a gift officer, maybe I'm an event planner, and I'm trying to sort of segment and separate. I know I have a couple tables that I want to dedicate, or I have a president's circle I want to invite folks to ahead of time to a special exhibit or invite them to a special performance. But I want to see their year-on-year giving. Apsona provides something that Apsona or Salesforce out of the box does not. Our Salesforce reporting out of the box is incredible. Lots of diverse graphics, 2 billion in potential revenue or 2 billion in potential fundraising here for these gifts. But when I click on the view report, I get into some difficult to handle sort of just broad scenarios where maybe I see opportunities in one table here, but I want to see sort of multiple years. I want to see 2 years ago. I want to see last year. I want to see year to date. And then I want to see if they're in or out of any other campaigns as well. So I don't want to include sort of donors in these other President Circle campaigns. So I want to get really specific in my reports. And the reporting tools here in Salesforce out of the box just don't cut it. If I go back to Apsona and click open the campaign view, we have a new tab that we've created as well, and it's called Apsona Results. This is essentially one of our special reports. We call it an Apsona multi-object or multi-step report, and we call it our inclusion-exclusion report with gift totals. So if I wanted to show you where that report lives, I could go to Apsona, I could show you the report template and show you where I built it based on end user requests, and then I've taken that report and I've embedded it on a page, made it on the Lightning component, and then delivered it to this campaign. So for any campaign across Salesforce, this report will find the data only for those campaign members and report that information to me for easy analysis for me as a gift officer or an event planner. In this scenario, I know I have the same 306 donors that are there before, but I know that I can sort of spot check these and say, if I know these individuals by hand, or maybe I know them by name, and as a person with relationships, I might want to sort of focus on these. I can sort of quickly sort and adjust some of these column headers. I can also take and remove columns off and on the page. So if I know that maybe I want the account ID onto this page, I can add it back on, giving me the ability to sort of pop out an account record as needed, showing it on screen, and maybe doing a deeper dive. Again, the goal is that the information is available at the fingertips for me as a gift officer or an event planner without having to sort of go into a different report to get what I want out of it. I go back to set columns. I can hide that information if I wanted to here. And if maybe I've got 3 to 5 years available here, but I'm only interested in 1 or 2, I can also adjust that as well. So let me take off 2 years ago. I'm only interested in this year and last year. So I can adjust, change, and adjust my report to get me exactly what I want. Now, let's say year to date, I want to focus on the folks that are prospecting year to date and have some gifts in the till, some gifts that are prospecting and zeroed on these folks. So I've got Aaron, Lori, Alex. Oh, Alex Trebek. How lucky are we? Sean Somerville, Angelia Hasney, but all these sort of folks here. If I wanted to sort of continue scrolling down, I could do so. I could also do a quick find across this space. And as always, with Apsona tools, we can always take this and always export it to Excel. If I wanted to get my hands on it, do my own pivot tables and charts, I can export it quickly and easily from here. So all these features are available out of the box, but I know that I wanted to exclude some scenarios of folks in other campaigns. This is where Apsona's reporting tools come in really handy. So with this embedded report available to my specialized user, I know right now that I've got all the campaign members for this 2024 campaign as the first step. But I'm also excluding a number of other contacts. I'm saying don't include anybody that are in the 2025 reunion count. And maybe if there's some folks in the president circle, maybe I want to sort of remove them as well. So I can choose that and say only include folks that are in this campaign, but not these 3 other campaigns, and then only include them if they have opportunities in these close dates. So I can adjust some of these criteria here, hit save on the report, run it again, and essentially, that was a campaign that was empty, wasn't a good example, but essentially I can sort of adjust and contrast different kinds of information I want on the report page, on the detail record page for this campaign without leaving this record, without sort of having to go to a different system. The last thing I want to highlight for this scenario is if there's a situation where I realize maybe I segment it, maybe I change the filters, maybe I get this down to a constrained center, and I want to maybe like highlight a couple key folks and only sort of send a save the date or even print a donor profile off of these folks, like a board brief or a donor profile. I can click on merge mail from this record page, and I can follow the steps that my admin has given me to run a merge action. A merge action in Apsona is essentially taking the data from a report and then creating a specific kind of outcome with it. These are often acknowledgment letters, gift receipts, pledge reminders. They can also be donor profiles and board briefs. So if I need to have this kind of information in hand before I leave for the gala or before I do some planning with my committee, I can print it right from here on screen, again, without having to leave the detail record page, giving me everything that I need at my fingertips. So that is a broad scenario of how to create reporting features and benefits to you and your team. add a solution template. Questions from the team so far, Leah? Just a couple.
I don't see any from our attendees, but I have a quick question
Sure.
about reporting. So how easy would it be for someone to get up and running with our reports, and how easy would it be to learn how to replicate what you're showing us here today?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Aaliyah. So one of the goals with Apsona is that we continue to bring reporting, data, and information to your fingertips and the fingertips of your team. Apsona is mostly known in the space as broadly a document generation tool that relies on powerful reporting tools. We have office hours 3 times a week for any customers that just need to ask questions live. But with these new solution templates, today you guys will receive a DAT file. That DAT file will have the reporting template embedded in it. So our goal is that we would actually give you the reporting template today to use and to start out on your own. Our goal is to sort of quickly increase the time to value on how quickly you're able to get a report. Lori, also on the call today with us, Lori and I and others on our team will be creating workshops and cohorts over the next few months where we'll be presenting different solution templates to highlight some of these needs. So this is the first in kind to that outcome. This is a higher ed dedicated scenario. We're talking about solution templates that our customers have come to us and said, here's what I'm using Apsona for. We're taking it, rebuilding it, prompting it, bringing it out to market for you guys to benefit. But yeah, our hope is that as your reporting team is looking at Apsona and understanding it, our goal is to bring more of these solution templates to you so you can start using them as quickly and easily as possible.
Awesome.
Thanks, Sylvia. All right, the last one. This is the fun one. So let's put on our mad scientist hat. Let's just say, hey, I know in the past when I was using some legacy tools, Advanced, Solution, who knows what, don't quote me on those. I had to push data here, push data there, get data here, and it was just like a wild spaghetti mess. I had data everywhere, and eventually I had to give my team, my receiving team, my gift administration team, just a bunch of tables, and they had to sort of manually do a bunch of Microsoft Word mail merges. We want to create value in you and your organization. And we know that essentially out of the box, sometimes Education Cloud, the Omni DocGen Studio is really complicated and really powerful. But sometimes people just want a Microsoft Word mail merge to use, but they don't want to do it in Microsoft Word. They want to do it in a platform that's built to do so. So we're going to showcase how receiving today can be accomplished in a 3-step process with Apsona. And then we're going to show you our solution to automate that, to basically click a button, choose a time and date, and say on a weekly basis, I want to create receipts or letters or gift summaries on a regular basis and have it created for me to use my team. We know that right now out of the box, sometimes Lightning reports aren't able to provide this. Sometimes the SOQL query tools with other big name document generation tools can't quite get the SOQL query you want. And not everybody knows how to write SOQL query. I know I don't, that's not my native language. So how do we give your team a series of reports to create specific gift reporting, specific templates that fit those needs, and then give you the power to control and contrast how to create the receipts and gift letters that you want for you and your constituents. We're going to hop back to Apsona, and we're going to click open the Apsona tab now. So on screen, I'm on my Apsona tab in my environment. We're using all the standard objects today, so we're not using any special managed package objects, but you can add your own along the way. Our goal is to make this sort of really simple and easy to use out of the box. We're going to hover over reporting tools and go to multi-step reports. Now, thanks to Lori, we have some incredible reports here in our toolbox, and I'm going to just reference one that we call Demo Giving Summary for Button. When I run this report, actually, forgive me, this is the report I imported earlier when I did my demo run. I'm going to get the one that Lori created way down here. Demo Giving Summary for Button. When I click on this report, essentially I'm greeted with a number of options. I won't go to this one yet. We're just going to edit this report first and say, this is a pretty simple one. We're just sort of getting account information at the very top of the screen. So the gift household or the donor account, we're getting that in all of the information related to them. Their ID, their street, city, state, zip, some greeting information, and maybe a total gifts. So all this information is at the top level of an account, pretty easy to understand. And we're only segmenting on this on one account ID. So we're not trying to make this too complicated. We just want to surface this to one donor and say, for one donor gift summary letter, here's how you do it. And then as you guys learn on one donor, you would choose your own donor when you rebuild this in your instance. We would then want you to sort of expand on that and sort of grow at your own pace. So this is the Wozencraft household. As I scroll from left to right, I can sort of show a number of fields that are here. Looks like they're based out of Australia. Primary contact is Sissy. Here's the email address and their total gift amount. Now, I'm going to simply show you how, when I click on Merge Mail, I am brought through a 4-step process to sort of help me create a merge mail. This is the same set of steps, roughly the same set of steps you would follow with a Microsoft Word merge mail. We're going to just talk you through it today and say, this is a ready-made template that we're handing over to you, so you can use this in your own instance, and walk you through the same series of steps today. So I have a data source. I have this report. From that report, I clicked on Merge Mail. In Merge Mail, I have to choose a document template. So this document template comes with my solution. It's just called Giving Summary. It is a document Word file. It has merge fields embedded in it. Those merge fields are mapped to Salesforce fields. The way you map them is here in step 3. So step 3 has a series of sort of fields at the document level. So the letter itself, the letter that I'm going to print, is going to be for the Wozencrafts, and it's going to have their city, their state, today's date, their zip code, their donor account name, and all that information is available for me, and I'm going to put that in the letter portion. At that level, we want to make sure that your team can adjust and handle these fields as needed. So all of these fields come from the report, but you can adjust these and change them as you like. There's also an embedded report here called gifts. So this is an embedded table of, hey, here's all the gifts that they gave in a particular frame. You may not have the same object here. You might need to link this to the opportunity object or gifts pledges. There's some instructions on our support pages, but our goal is to sort of show this out of the box for you today. If I click on next at the last level, I'm referencing that this is called an action. So this merge action now exists. If I hit save and run, this example exists today, and I can sort of download that template to show you what it looks like. I pull that up on screen, the outcome that you're shooting for is essentially the Wozencrafts giving summary, like I'm showing it here on screen. So demographic information at the top, simple reporting inline table, easy to sort of set up. Now, the fun shows up where you say, hey, I know that I need this. I'm going to need it every week, and I want them printed and available for me for download. Or there might be an option you might want to send them by email. Both of those options are accessible to us in Apsona. We're going to say, how do I automate this, Justin? Well, first, you have to make sure that you have our particular product called Apsona Scheduler. It's a part of our Apsona Advanced package. And once you have it in your package, we're going to include some instructions in that later, you're going to go to Settings, and then we're just going to find that merge action that we were creating. So that merge action we're working off of is here under Merge Mail Actions. I'm going to sort to the most recently created merge mail, Giving Summary for button. And then if you want to automate this, essentially, you can click Schedule right here, and it takes this multi-step report with the filters created, it merges it to this document ID, and then it does it at the schedule that you decide. So under Schedule, I can call this webinar 123.25. I can choose when it starts, when it ends. I can hit Save. Now, once I've created that, this now creates a scheduled job. I'm going to go to Reporting Tools, click on Scheduled Job. And here I have my scheduled job. Looks like I've set it at a weekly level. And I'm going to just click on Run Now to sort of test this out and see what it looks like. When I click on Run Now, it tells me a bunch of, hey, make sure that you're aware this is going to use one of your scheduler quotas. It's going to run this job, and it's going to send it to this email address. I'm going to hit Proceed. And in my email address, I'm going to show you guys how to set this up and use it. So noting we're a little bit over time, I'm going to take an extra minute after this and then show you guys how this works on screen. All right, so on screen, I'm going to pull down my email. Dangerous thing to do. And on screen today, can you guys see? So since this is sent from a sandbox or a developer org, it flagged that it may not be safe, but essentially this is just an email sent from Salesforce. The giving summary is created here, easy to see, easy to use, and something that can be created as a solution for you and your team. Now, as we look to say, how do I get this today at home? I'm going to take you guys through a short process to say, if you want to sort of take these templates that we're going to create for you and do them on your own, I'm going to walk through that today as well. So here we have our Google Doc. We're going to sort of relay these solutions to you later today. The install link is here for installing our packages into your org. And then if you're at a point where you actually want to sort of download and use this file, first thing you do is you download the DAT file. This DAT file is essentially just like a cocktail of all the components of the Apsona solution. You're going to download that into your browser bar. And then when you're back in your Apsona environment, we're going to go back to Apsona. We're going to go to Tools. Sorry, we're going to go to Settings, Apsona Items. And for you to sort of take these these solutions and bring them into your org, you're going to go under Tools and Import Items. I'm going to choose that file that I just downloaded and reference that. Essentially, it pops up and tells me exactly what's included in that solution file. This is the kind of goods that we want to give to you and your team as you're trying to orient around how to use these solutions. It includes the multi-step report, the embedded report, the merge action, and the document. When I click on import, it brings the solutions into my Salesforce environment, and now I can use them and try them out just like I did on today's recording. When I click on reporting tools, I can sort of find that report, just so if you guys are wondering where those sort of tools ended up, we would click on refresh under reporting tools. And then here under importing, there's an import folder that's created anytime you import this. So here's that demo giving summary I just imported, ready to go for me to use today. I can run it, I can merge it, and I can start using it today. As time goes on, please send us questions at support@apsona.com or send us some notes at sales@apsona.com on how we can provide better solution templates for you and your team. Aaliyah, any other questions or comments I can cover as we're wrapping up for the day?
Oh, you have up the slide with the cohort, so just be on the lookout for invitations for those sessions starting in February.
Yeah, send us notes if you guys have questions along the way. We're looking for lots of feedback. This is, for me, a great time. We're taking the best insight and awareness of our Apsona customers and our Apsona partners and bringing them to bear for the rest of our customer base. Looking forward to comments from the team, and good luck with those solution files. Have a great day.
Bye, all.